All right, little storm, little video. I'm gonna try to do this in 2 minutes or less. All right, check this out. We got this storm right here, kind of centered over the Great Lakes. I think it's easy to get caught up in all these maps, and they're useful. However, let's just look at history for a second. Here's a storm from 2014 that dropped like 10 inches of snow on us in New York. Look at the size of this storm, way bigger, and notice that it's dipping down into the Gulf, pulling moisture off the Gulf. If we look at today's storm, it's way smaller, not pulling moisture off the Gulf. This is going to be huge. So we're not looking at like huge precip amounts. We're not going to be approaching anywhere near that 10 inches of snow. That's way too much. I mean, for at least for most of us, right? Okay, so what's going to happen? So here it is. As I film this, it's like Thursday morning. It's already kind of the storm's really kind of approaching Western New York right now. So it's a matter of hours, not days. This by late Thursday, like probably late afternoon, early evening Thursday into Thursday night, we're going to start to get this snow. If we look at the temp maps here, the temp maps are pretty telling. We've got really cold air out in front. Cold air out in front is going to be obviously low temps, so like light and fluffy snow. The storm's actually going to bring a warming kind of effect to this. So we might even start with some like really light fluffy snow and then get into some heavier snow. I mean, the temps on this storm are actually pretty warm. So we might see a little crossover here, but it's going to hit us at night. And so, what's actually going to happen during like the meat of this storm? I'm not quite sure. It sure looks like it's warm enough to kind of maybe even switch over at some point, but it's going to hit us at night. And these super cold temps out in front and behind the storm, I don't know. My gut says that these kind of colder temps are going to kind of just ultimately kind of like the warm air will rise over these kind of cold temps, and we're going to have the precip falling through this really cold air. And so I think at the end of the day, what we're going to have is really light and fluffy snow to start this thing Thursday night, maybe into a little bit heavier snow by the time this thing ends. How much snow? If we look at precip maps here, I mean, we're looking at fraction of an inch to an inch of rain total. And, it's 18 degrees outside. And so an inch of rain and 18 degrees could be any number of inches of snow. Obviously, at 32 degrees where water starts to freeze, if you get rain, like an inch of rain could just be an inch of kind of maybe 2 inches of like wet snow. Or at 7 degrees, it could be a foot of fluffy champagne powder. So what's going to happen? So what do I think here? At the end of the day, here's what I think. I think that this storm is going to hit us late Thursday into Friday. I think it's going to start with some really fluffy snow, cold temps. The storm is definitely going to warm temperatures up a little bit during the storm, and then we're going to see super cold temperatures after it to kind of finish up the storm. When we just kind of put things into historical context, with this one being like a 10-inch storm from 2014, and when we just look at the amount of moisture, which is not a ton in the storm, I think I've been reading a lot of like 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch kind of forecasts, and that seems right. So the big question is, what do you do with that information? I don't know. We've got many snow days left, and this is happening in the middle of the night.